Let's take a look at exercise number 2. We're given the following information. We have that the sine of some angle, although we don't know what the angle is, it's unknown, the sine of it is equal to negative 3/5. We're also told that theta is in quadrant number 3. My recommendation for problems like this is to draw out a picture. So here's what we've got. We know we're working in quadrant 3, so we're down here. Therefore, our angle, I'll put it here in yellow, must look something like that. If I drop a vertical line back up to the axis up here, I know that this point, if I'm on the unit circle, so let's draw the unit circle in there. Okay, I'm just roughly putting it in. Okay, so there's my unit circle. This point here at the end, its y value is negative 3/5. And I get that because that y value is a sine value. So that means that this length right here is negative 3/5. We also know that the hypotenuse has a length of 1. What we want to know is what is the cosine value. So we want to know this length right here. Let me mark it in yellow instead. Okay, so that length. Because that length is the cosine of the angle. If we look at the formula, we have the following. We have the sine squared of an angle plus the cosine squared of an angle is equal to 1. And that should make sense just by looking at our picture over here. So sine is equal to negative 3/5. So if I take negative 3/5 and I square that, because this right here is sine theta times sine theta. So since sine theta is equal to negative 3/5, I have negative 3/5 times itself plus the cosine squared of theta, which I don't know but I'm looking for. That should be equal to 1. And you can get that just by looking at this picture over here. So negative 3/5 squared is a positive 9/25. So we have that plus the cosine squared of theta is equal to 1. I'm trying to solve for cosine theta. So what I'll do is I'll move this 9/25 over to the other side. So essentially I'm going to subtract 9/25 from both sides. And that's going to give me that the cosine squared of the angle, theta, is equal to 25/25 minus 9/25. I'm running out of room over here, so let's move it back. So 25 minus 9 is 16. So that tells us, We'll block off a little area. That tells us that the cosine squared of an angle, of the angle that we're looking for, is equal to 16 over 25. So now we'll take the square root of both sides, and we've got the cosine of the angle is equal to the square root of 16 over 25. Now, remember when you take the square root, though, you got to do plus or minus. So that's going to be 4/5, because the square root, so as a side note, I'll do it up here in yellow, the square root of 16 over 25 is equal to the square root of 16 over the square root of 25, which is equal to 4 over 5. But again, it's plus or minus. Now, which one do we pick, the positive or the negative? Well, notice, and this is why it's important to know which quadrant you're in, notice that cosine is negative in quadrant 3. So cosine of our angle is less than 0, it's negative. Therefore, I should pick the negative value of this. Thus, your answer is that the cosine of the angle is equal to negative 4/5. And that's your solution. So again, let me just recap. Draw a picture out, make sure you know what's going on. Use your Pythagorean, so that's this over here, we drew the picture out. Use the Pythagorean theorem, or excuse me, identity. Right here, you're going to solve. When you get to the end, you're going to have to pick between positive and negative.